Hello there. Today I'm flying with Emirates from Auckland to the United Kingdom, and so here I am in the Emirates Lounge in Auckland, and I'm tasting some Escarpment 2022 Pinot Noir. Escarpment, leading Pinot Noir specialist from the Martinborough region towards the south of New Zealand's North Island, and as well as a highly respected and very well reputed set of single vineyard Pinot Noirs. Martinborough Vineyards also make Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, and a surprisingly successful Pinot Blanc. The estate was founded in 1999, and for its first 23 years, winemaker Larry Mckenna, one of New Zealand's most experienced Pinot Noir producers, has been in charge. The escarpment that's named refers to some deep gravel terraces to be found about 3 miles east of the town of Martinborough, and these friable soils are a great terroir for the production of high-quality Pinot Noirs. In terms of escarpment's range, their Pinot Noir sits below the single vineyard wines such as Kupe. Now, in the last few years, there have been some changes because in 2019, the Australian producer from the Barossa Valley, Torbreck, purchased escarpment. And then in this vintage, 2022, Larry Mckenna decided to resign his position here and go into a semi-retirement after 23 years running the winery. However, he leaves it in the good hands of viticulturist Rowan Hoskins and winemaker Tim Bourne. Now, the 2022 vintage started really well. The first half of the season, there were beautiful conditions, allowing good flowering and an even fruit set. However, the second half of the season wasn't as propitious. It was rather cool and somewhat wet. The resultant wines are described as having an elegance and purity, so that must have meant quite a lot of selection if there were damp conditions, causing fungal pressure. Now, this wine is a blend of wines from a number of different sites, but 75% of those wines come from different vineyards on Temana Road in the proximity of the winery. The fruit was hand-picked and it was crushed into open-top fermenters. The approach to winemaking here is to intervene as little as is possible. So extraction is managed by daily pushdowns, and maceration went on for about 25 days. The wine aged in a combination of French oak and stainless steel. So it spent 11 months in French oak barriques, 225 litre barrels, and of those barriques, 27% were new in 2022. After 11 months, the wine was moved into stainless steel, stayed there for a further 9 months. Finally, the wine was bottled, unfined and unfiltered. So let's see what we make of it, shall we? It's really quite a pale colour. Swirling it, I believe the wine is labelled as having 13.5% alcohol, and it's clinging fairly well to the inside of the glass there. It's not quite as big a glass as I'd ideally like to be drinking Pinot Noir out of, but yes, it's forming some quite substantial tears. So let's see what we make of the aroma, shall we? There's a joyful red fruit. It starts off with juicy raspberry notes and then moves on to red plums. There are some toasty hints, and perhaps at the back just a touch of chocolate or cocoa or something like that. There is a savoury note, perhaps the start of some forest floor development notes. But at this stage, really, it's the initial bright red fruit that's really quite enjoyable. So let's have a taste. On the palate, there's quite a fine tannic structure that comes in quite early. It's almost a cocoa note, and then you start to see a little bit more sort of cedry, drying toastiness. There is quite a savoury note. There's almost a sort of a bloody, meaty note to the middle palate. But there's nice fresh acidity, and that sort of starts to lift the red fruit more towards a sort of a plumminess. Perhaps more of a cooked plum than a stewed plum. Throughout the entire of this, those fine tannins are giving a nice mouth-watering note to the wine, and that mouth-watering nature gives it good length. The wine almost invariably has a 7 or 8 year lifespan ahead of it if you want to age it, and I'm sure that bright, fresh fruit will transform far more into developed, savoury notes of forest floor, complementing the toasty and chocolatey notes of the mid-palate. It's at best a medium-bodied wine. I don't think it has the intensity or the depth to last much more than about 10 years. But in the meantime, it's providing some really nice drinking. So for that reason, the Wine Searcher aggregated critic score of 91 out of 100 seems to be about right. I should also have mentioned that the wine is certified as organic, a status for which the Escarpment Winery has been certified since 2019. So if you're interested in trying this, I will leave a link in the notes below to the Wine Searcher webpage for this vintage of this wine, so that you can see if it's available in your market and at what price. If you'd like to watch more of these videos, do please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It would be great to have your support there. If you have any comments, please leave those in the comments box below, and if you felt like sharing the video with any of your friends, that would be fantastic. So thank you again for watching, and I do hope that you'll manage to make some time and come and watch me with some more tasting videos in the very near future. Until then, bye for now.